Good morning, guys. My name is Holden, Wilmington Awning Shutter and Shade, and today we're going to talk a little bit about some of our storm protection offerings. Here we have some of our different storm panels. So we have our mill finish storm panel as well as our clear panels. They're fully removable, so if you don't want to be able to see them during the 364 days of the year that we're not worried about a hurricane, then you can pull the panels down. You can store them wherever you need to, whether that be in a garage, attic. Whether you choose to go with an aluminum panel or a clear panel, the clear panel obviously gives you that ability to be able to see inside or outside. Next, we're going to talk about accordion shutters. So accordion shutters are a great solution for storm protection. They're going to always be present, so you're not having to worry about going to your garage, getting the storm panels out, putting them into place. An accordion is a very sound, secure option for storm protection. So we'll go ahead and close this shutter. We use what we call a saltwater lock. Sometimes you'll see a push button lock, but we recommend a very simple solution. The reason being is we're going to be oceanfront application in a lot of storm shutters. You're not going to have corrosion over time. The push button locks tend to be more susceptible to saltwater intrusion, and that salt water will over time begin to break down the components inside the shutter. So we like to make sure we have a very rigid particular shutter that's going to hold up to the worst of our Carolina elements. It's Miami-Dade impact tested, and the accordion is that perfect solution for price point as well as maximum protection. When talking about storm shutters, one of the most important things to consider is application. Every application is different. No two homes are built the same. They can have the same set of plans and maybe even the same builder, but they're not going to have the exact same dimensions everywhere. Let's say you have a sliding glass door. So if you have a sliding glass door, the presentation we have on the wall here is not applicable, meaning that this track here and it's not going to be the same design. You need to be able to walk through the sliding glass door and step over it. So they make what they call a walkover track. Open up the accordion, and as you see on this track at the bottom, it's curved and beveled, but the accordion is still able to sit down into the track, so that allows you to step over it and step right into the home. Alternatively, your house may have some different trims. So for different trim setups, we have different things. When we look at the storm panels or the accordions, even the Bahama shutters, we can do different build outs. So if you have a ornate trim at the top, but the rest of your window opening is recessed in just a little bit, we're able to accommodate that. So guys, we're now to the top of the line for storm shutters. We're up to roll shutters. Roll shutters are personally one of my favorite forms of storm protection, simply because you can hide it so well. The shutter we have on display here is what we call a push-pull shutter. So quite simply, I'm going to take one finger and pull it down. So as you can see with the storm shutter in its fully closed deployed position, got a lot of strength here. You can hit right against it and that shutter doesn't move. It's got good rigidity, good force to it. You're secured down the sides. Our screw spacing is dialed in tightly, so we're going to make sure we have all that strength here in the rails to hold these slats in place. So when a flying 2x4, your neighbor's fence falls apart in the hurricane and debris is going, it's going to take that impact and it's not going to break it. So then once your storm passes, you're able to walk right out, grab your key, unlock your shutter here at the bottom and pull it right up. Before we had push-pull shutters, we had what we would have called a crank shutter, and we still install these quite regularly today. This is what we call a crank operator, and you simply just crank the shutter down to lower it. You can do this from inside the home, outside the home, either side of the shutter. We have 4 options of locations for us to put this, and it brings the shutter right down to where you need it to be. Whenever you're done with it, you simply push against the pole, twist, and remove. In recent years, the industry has come up with several different ways to operate these shutters. We've discussed push-pull, we've discussed crank, and now we're going to talk a little bit more about the motorized options for roll shutters. So when it comes to a motorized shutter, we can do a couple different ways. We can either work with your electrician to pull power to it consistently, so there's always going to be hardwired into your home onto a breaker. That way it can be disconnected, serviced, or anything of that nature. You're also going to have that consistency. You know it's going to work, it's going to operate, you have the power, it's going to be there. We can also have an override installed with a motorized shutter. So if you do happen to lose power and you don't have a generator, we can still get you in and out of the house as you need. The last option for motorized roll shutters will be a solar motor. So for a solar motor, we can either take the solar panel, place it on the front of the hood, the top side of the hood, or within a couple feet of wherever the shutter is located to get the most sunlight for that solar panel. The solar motor is very reliable. We have them in several units across the area now. Your final consideration when purchasing storm shutters is going to be what color do we want. So most storm shutters, 95% of our customers are going to choose white. That tends to match your trim or whatever your house is going to be. Depending on what color we need to go with, we can definitely work with you on those options.